The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface-level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind-the-scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
Everyone, and welcome to the Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw, and I'm joined by the man who time forgot, Mr. Eric Niss, returning finally.
Hey, I'm back
from self-imposed isolation, as it were.
I've returned with a full erection, so I'm ready to talk about Body Double.
Whole 2 inches, as they would say, and we are full 2 inches.
Oh wow!
And we are joined. That's a medical condition, actually. You should probably go get that looked at. And we are joined.
That's. I don't want to.
I don't want to go into some registry for that.
Perfectly average size penis. Thank you very much.
I know you mention it on every podcast. It's becoming like you always talk about it's perfectly average.
Gotta leave them wanting more, I guess.
And we are also joined by a good friend of mine, a Brian De Palma fan. If you haven't gotten a chance to listen to him gush over Blowout, go listen to that first, and then come listen to this podcast. OughtFiveFilm's own Mike Wallace.
Hi, guys. Welcome. I'm not welcoming you. You're welcoming me, but it's good to be on again.
Welcome to your own podcast, as it were. Welcome to the Kulturecast. Oh, my.
I'm somehow taken over.
And on this Kulturecast, we are continuing Brian De Palma Month with a look at yet another one of his films, a film that I'm pretty sure is just Rear Window, but made in the 1980s.
Rear Window and Vertigo.
We're talking about Body Double, directed by Brian De Palma, stars Craig Wasson. I'm sure that's not how you say his name.
I think it's just Wasson.
Greg Henry, and the absolutely drop-dead gorgeous Melanie Griffith.
Yeah, she's staggering in this movie.
She is a looker upon lookers. And the film follows Craig Wasson's actor character as he is privy to a murder that takes place in again, this is essentially just Rear Window, directed by Brian De Palma. If Brian De Palma is catching flack for being a ripper-offer of Hitchcock, this movie is probably the one that people are pointing fingers at. So
I also think this is sort of his response to his critics who were saying you're just a rip-off of Hitchcock, and he went, "Oh, you want me to see me rip off Hitchcock? Here you go, motherfuckers."
Yeah, here I am literally ripping it off.
Yeah.
He thought he was watching her, but she was watching him. He thought he was trespassing, but he was invited. He knew he had gone too far. He couldn't stop. He saw exactly what she wanted him to see. Brian De Palma, the modern master of suspense, invites you to witness a seduction, a mystery, a murder. Body Double. You can't believe everything you see.
So, since, Mike, you'd seen this film before, Eric and I hadn't, I am curious, Eric, what did you think of seeing Body Double for the first time?
I surprisingly liked it because, even though I wasn't there when you guys talked about it, we had briefly talked about how I did not like Blowout.
At all.
Yeah,
Eric did not like Blowout at one bit.
I think it's because I hate John Travolta and I just can't get past it. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I despised that movie. Couldn't get through it. Definitely hated it. But Body Double, I actually really liked. I liked it a lot more than I was expecting to like it. So, yeah, it's definitely a Hitchcock. It's like an ode to Hitchcock for sure, but I don't know, in a good way. At least for me, it was in a good way.
It hits all the Hitchcock notes that you're expecting of a ode to Hitchcock. But also, I'm assuming you like the fact that it's set in L.A. Another thing, right? Yeah,
everything is set in L.A., so I can watch any movie, and even movies that aren't set in L.A., I'm like, oh, that's in L.A.
Yeah, I've seen that before. That's supposed to be in Chicago, though.
I'm like, oh, that's not Chicago.
What about you, Mike? What do you think of Body Double watching it again for probably, I don't know, I'm assuming you've seen this film a fair amount.
Yeah, I've seen this movie a lot. Like I said, there's sort of three, other than Phantom of the Paradise, sort of the three movies that my girl Jess and I watch like sort of every year are Dress to Kill, Blowout, and Body Double. And when we were talking about Blowout, I was saying like, they sometimes sort of change ranking in my mind as to what I like best, and Body Double, like, in my mind is always at the top, but now having sort of gone back to back with Blowout and this, it falls a bit. Listen, I love the movie. I love that it's set in LA, in that particular time period, that sort of mid 80s, like sort of very polished and shiny looking LA that is also really gross at the same time. And but I think this movie, once it gets to the third act, it completely crumbles in on itself. But having said that, everything up until then, I'm totally down with. I really like it a lot. I like that he's sort of thumbing his nose at his critics by going full bore into sort of Hitchcock land. And there's something to be said for it's hard to invoke a movie and say like, well, the time and place like matter, but like 1983, 84 in mainstream America, nobody was talking about the porn industry, and De Palma comes along and is like, I'm going to make a whole movie about it, and fuck you all. So, like, I like that sort of bravura sort of attitude that De Palma brought to it. But I really like this movie a lot. I just, having watched it again, like, literally last night, I'm like, yeah, it's not as good as I remember.
Well, and obviously, I had a differing opinion with Eric about Blowout. I liked Blowout a lot, as opposed to Eric, who didn't like it. Couldn't get past Travolta, which, I mean, I completely understand.
Sure. If you don't like someone, you don't like them. I mean, I get that.
Yeah. But Body Double, like you said, you summed it up pretty well. The third act of this movie is just utter dog shit. It's so bad that it almost undoes everything that the first two acts of the film did.
Yeah, it's so funny because Melanie Griffith, what she does, she's not in the movie a whole ton. I mean, she is and she isn't. But, like, as her character, Holly Bonney, when she finally sort of makes her entrance in the film, like, she really, like, brings the movie to a whole other level of life. And then that completely gets squandered. And it's really tragic. One wonders if she had been in the movie more as a participant, then it might have been, could have smoothed things over by the end. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, it's the whole plot of the movie seems so meticulously, the plot of the villain, basically, it's so meticulously crafted. And then at the end, it's just him, like, digging a grave by a reservoir to bury her alive. I was just like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
Well, I don't know about you, Eric, but having watched this for the first time, I think my favorite part of the movie is the movie trying to convince you that that's clearly not Greg Henry under makeup the entire film. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Yeah. I was just like, I wonder who that is. It's probably that guy.
Yeah, look, I mean, look, even if the makeup had been perfect, it would still end up looking like somebody in makeup. I think they did a creditable job for 1983, but it's not like, it isn't Rick Baker or like Dick Smith or something. Like it's serviceable but not great.
I also think that it's probably like that on purpose. Like the campiness level of like just having bad, like essentially what is just like a bad rubber mask, like on your villain is like semi-menacing, but also like very tongue-in-cheek. Like as far as like, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a bunch.
He should never have gotten into a close-up on that character. Like by design, this, you bring up the rear window thing, which this thing definitely does sort of a double in a way. Like, why would he ever get close to that character at all? It should have always been from afar so that the audience could have at least had a chance to keep guessing.
I agree. Right, Eric? I mean, it's just, you see him close up so many times.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, extremely.
And I think that's De Palma, like, doing that on purpose to mess with us. To just, I don't know, to just, like, kind of put, I mean, I don't know. I've gone back and forth with whether or not, I mean, obviously he did it on purpose, but the reason why he did it so many times and so like blatantly, where it's like blatantly like a dude in a rubber mask or whatever is, I don't know. As much.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror. We'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Because this movie is a shot at his critics, I think it's also kind of like just a shot at, the films of the time in general or whatever. And to have those like close-ups of the bad guy's face or whatever, I think is just, I don't know. I think it's just him just fucking with the audience.
Well, and let's not forget, when you have Greg Henry under that much makeup, he essentially looks like the actor who played Vigo the Carpathian in Ghostbusters.
He did look a bit like that.
When he kept saying the Indian over and over, I was like, who the hell is he talking about? Oh, he's talking about Greg Henry in like long hair and like a weird mask that makes his skin look mottled. Like,
yeah.
That's the thing. It's like putting Ron Perlman under makeup. Like Greg Henry kind of has like a very like distinct look. He's got like a very distinct like nose and jawline, and like no amount of makeup you put him under is really gonna get rid of that. It may even heighten it to some extent.
Yeah, it's odd that they wouldn't just cast an actor who looked remarkably like him and put that guy in makeup or something, and then or rather, a guy who looks similar enough to him that if you put him in the makeup, they could be twins or something. I don't know. It never worked for me at that sort of portion of the movie. I like the idea behind it, but it's not the sort of focal point for me for the movie.
Yeah, no, and for me, I mean, Craig Wasson is Wasson. Wasson, is that what we're saying it? Wasson. Wasson, he's great, and I've only ever seen him in one other thing, which is the third Nightmare on Elm Street, which, by all accounts, is one of 3 Nightmare on Elm Street films that matters. The third one being New Nightmare. So, and he's great in that film. So it was kind of weird to see him like in a main role in something.
Yeah, I don't think there were many more than this, other than a couple years before he was in the adaptation of Peter Straub's book, Ghost Story. He was the lead in that. And he was okay in that one. He's great in this movie. I don't know what it is about De Palma that he can, like, it's kind of like the Scorsese effect, where even if someone's kind of middling, he can make them great for 2 hours.
Well, this movie a lot reminded me of After Hours with Griffin Dunne. Yeah. It was like the same thing. I was like, Griffin Dunne, who plays kind of like a, second fiddle in An American Werewolf in London. And then he gets that chance to work with one of the greatest directors of the 20th century. And he just absolutely like brings a great performance out of him. And it's the same thing here. I mean, Craig Wasson's not playing he plays a rather big part in the third Nightmare, but he ultimately plays kind of a secondary character. And in this film, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he definitely is better than Greg Henry, who is a good actor, but is given ultimately nothing to do.
I like him in the first third of this movie, when he's sort of setting things up, interrupting the acting class and everything. Like, I thought he was doing really good work there.
When he's actually just playing the character of Sam Bouchard, not the Indian.
Yeah, not the Indian, nor the actual husband of the character at the end, who I think by that point he doesn't even have any lines. He just gets attacked by his own dog.
Yeah.
And dropped into the reservoir. Oh my God, that's the end of this movie. It's so terrible. But I still love it.
Well, and that's the thing. The end of the movie almost feels like a joke, right?
Yeah.
Where she's like, oh, there was nothing. There was no one here. You're a pedophile. No, not a pedophile. A necrophiliac. That's like, what the fuck? Like, do you not remember getting in the car with that guy? Like, you got hit on the head so hard you forgot? I don't know, like we've been saying, like it's hard to kind of forgive certain things in this movie because it's like, it's just kind of indefensible, some of the shit that they pull in this movie. That being one of those things, the ending where she forgets that a guy in the Bronco or whatever the hell he was driving kidnapped her. It's like,
yeah. I mean, let's talk about one of the great things in this movie, and that is Craig Wasson effectively wearing Billy Idol's outfit from the Dancing with Myself video in order to portray a vampire.
Oh, wow.
Or him being like the first minute of the movie just staring at the screen, frozen.
Yeah, frozen. And that's all one take, again, because it's De Palma and he has to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know, Eric, since this is technically the first De Palma podcast you've been on this month, I haven't gotten a chance to ask you, kind of what is your exposure to Brian De Palma? Because for me, it was Scarface, and that was it.
Yeah, Scarface, The Untouchables.
Well, and I guess Phantom of the Paradise,
And Phantom of the Paradise, yeah.
Phantom of the Paradise is almost... I don't know if you agree with this, Mike, but it's almost un-De Palma in a way. Like, it's like...
yeah, I mean, it is and it isn't. I get what you're saying. I mean, his sort of stock in trade is thriller flicks. So, yeah, it is a bit out of left field, but no more out of left field than The Untouchables. I mean, one wouldn't necessarily assume that he made that, or Mission Impossible for that matter, which the first one I think is actually really good. But, yeah, I mean, if you say Brian De Palma to me, I'm going to think about, Sisters or... the 3 movies that we've been mentioning, or, even Raising Cain, as horrible as that movie is, all of sort of a genre kind of trope. But yeah, no, Phantom of the Paradise is an anomaly, something, one of those, the exception that proves the rule or something.
Yeah. But for you, Eric, it was those movies. It wasn't stuff like this, right?
Yeah. I'd never seen any of his true thrillers and stuff like that. Any of these movies.
Well, that was where I was coming from at the beginning of this month. So it's, it's kind of, now having seen these films like Body Double, Dress to Kill, Blowout, which even though you weren't on those podcasts in regards to Blowout and Dress to Kill, we ended up not getting a chance to do, but we did watch. These 3 films feel very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, are these his best known thrillers? I mean, are these the 3 in the canon of best known thrillers for De Palma?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, the stuff he did in the 70s, I mean, if you mention Brian De Palma's 70s, people are going to say Carrie, right off the top of their head.
Right.
And rightfully so. I mean, that was sort of the biggest one and probably works the most successfully, as its own thing, aside again of... I keep having to qualify Phantom of the Paradise. Let's stop talking about Phantom of the Paradise. It's his greatest movie. But, in the 70s, but there was a movie he did called Sisters with Margot Kidder and William Finley from Phantom of the Paradise. That's really, really good. That's worth seeing. But again, these are lesser known. You're right. This sort of like triptych, I guess, of Dress to Kill, then Blowout, then Body Double are sort of like the three that everyone sort of in their mind, these are his thrillers. Although he's never really stopped making.
Well, and for me personally, I would take Blowout over the other two, and I would put Dress to Kill at the bottom. Dress to Kill just doesn't do it for me at all.
I kind of like, what I do like about that movie is, and like each of these movies are clearly more personal than I wouldn't say that than he would admit. I think he would admit sort of freely, but that first film, Dress to Kill, like the Keith Gordon character in it is clearly him as a kid, because he was kind of a science nerd and, quasi genius there. And I like that character a lot. I like the interaction between him and Nancy Allen and him, attempting to sort of pull her out of the situation she's in. I mean, there's a lot I like in that movie. I like the elevator attack. I like the whole opening at the museum with Angie Dickinson. Yeah, again, I don't know how well the movie pays off at the end. But it is still, it's Brian De Palma, so it's gorgeous kind of throughout. So, I think those rankings, I would agree with that. It would probably be number 1, Blowout, number 2, Body Double, and then Dress to Kill after that.
Where would you rank them, Eric, since you're not a fan of Blowout?
Blowout's way at the bottom, and then
at the bottom of 3, it would be way at the bottom.
Dress to Kill, and then Body Double is probably at the top for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I like Dress to Kill. Dress to Kill was interesting. It's definitely a weird movie, and then I don't know. God,
it's a weird movie, but I think the third act of it similarly falls apart like the one in this film does.
Kinda, yeah.
That's the thing about Blowout. Blowout's third act doesn't fall apart.
No, it gets better.
Right. Blowout's third act is the best part of that movie.
Right.
Sure.
And that's following 2 acts that I really like.
Right. No, yeah.
No, I'll concede that the third act of Blowout is the strongest of the other movies or whatever.
Yeah, because it really is, which, again, when you look at the third act of this film and you looked at the third act of Dress to Kill, that's not saying much.
No, I know. It's like world's tallest midget. But I don't know. I think this particular film, Body Double, there's something about the sort of setting and even like this sort of like schlubby character, like as our lead, this sort of like guy who really can't even get a job, and something about his affliction. Like, I don't know, there's something really appealing. Like, I enjoy watching this movie, whereas Dress to Kill, it seems kind of like dour, and maybe that's the setting because it's in New York and it's really seems overcast and blue, and this one is sort of shiny and, as I said earlier, and sort of more like LA plasticine kind of a thing. That this one, that alone like elevates this movie to me.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, let's take a break, and when we get back, we'll talk about undoubtedly the best part in this entire film. Who is Carl Kolchak?
He's a reporter.
Now that is news, Vincenzo. News! And we are a newspaper. We are supposed to print news, not suppress.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
asset.
With the INS.
What's an INS?
Independent news servicer founded in 1904 by Enrico Paluzzi.
Who seems to have a nose for the strange and unusual.
Well, last year in Las Vegas, I uncovered a series of murders that turned out to have been committed by a vampire.
And what is the Kolchak Tapes?
It's a podcast.
All about Carl Kolchak.
What's a Kolchak?
The Night Stalker.
And where can you get it?
On iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at www.kolchaktapes.com.
As foolish a game as any that Gory the Ghoul could make up.
Movies have become a portal to a vast and growing pop culture universe, but you don't need to go over the rainbow to get your pop culture fix. Just head to Rainbow Comics, Cards, and Collectibles. They are your one-stop shop for comics, toys, posters, games, and more. Not a pop culture nerd? No problem. They have something for everyone, including a wide array of sports cards, collectible card games, even memorabilia. Stop by one of their 2 locations today. The flagship location at 3310 South Minnesota Avenue, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, or their newest location at 1501 Pine Lake Road, Suite 17, Lincoln, Nebraska. Most importantly, don't forget to add them on Facebook for pop culture news, weekly live videos, and special events.
Here's what some people are saying about the Projection Booth podcast.
Week after week, I'm mesmerized by the focus given great films and questionable films alike. But every episode is a learning and entertaining experience.
This is hands down the best movie podcast. They cover so many different genres across so many years, from obscure movies to blockbusters.
If there's only one podcast about movies and cinema that you listen to, make it this one.
The Projection Booth podcast, with new episodes available every week at projectionboothpodcast.com.
All right, so we are back and we are talking about Body Double. Let's talk about the best scene in this film, and it features a little band called Frankie Goes to Hollywood. The most absurd scene.
What a bizarro scene in the movie. Oh my God. Right. But again, like him taking that risk and just going, and you know what? And now there's going to be a music video in the middle of my movie, and it's going to be S&M themed, and it's going to end with a sex scene and people complaining about not getting a cum shot. It's so fucking out there that I love Brian De Palma all the more for it.
It was my favorite part of the film.
Definitely the weirdest part of a really weird movie.
But it works, right? Right, Eric? I mean,
yeah,
it works.
It does not feel out of place, and that is so fucking odd.
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah, it doesn't feel out of place, which, I mean, in any other movie, it would feel completely and utterly out of place.
You'd be like, what are we doing now? And it's not even like we're watching the making of that sort of porno movie. Also, what porno movie is that? Like, all porno should like be made to that standard of filmmaking.
And why is Frankie Goes to Hollywood in the porno?
Why are they there? I don't know. They're singing their tune, and then it's again, we're not seeing the behind the scenes. We're just watching the movie at that point, up until the end where we finally are not. It's so unusual. Also, on a side note, that set for that nightclub, that was also the nightclub in Fright Night. That was like a set on the Columbia lot that they used for both movies. Yeah, it's super weird. The music in this scene is better than the Fright Night scene, though. There's less saxophone.
But what are we talking about, the Fright Night remake?
No, we're talking the original Fright Night. They didn't leave that fucking nightclub set up for 30 years, hoping somebody else would shoot a nightclub scene in there.
I've actually never seen the original Fright Night. I've only seen the remake.
Oh,
are you fucking kidding me?
I'm dead serious.
What is wrong with you?
Hey, hold on a second. The remake's actually not bad.
I like the remake, but the first one is so head and shoulders above it.
Hey, Eric, you guys. I know. Hey, and the remake is set in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I was excited that they were going to do it here because I like the idea that they had for that, which is because we're such a transitory town. Then it's the same idea for the original Kolchak, the Night Stalker, or rather just the Night Stalker. Like, what better town than a 24-hour town where you can sort of like walk amongst the populace in late at night, and no one's going to notice if people go missing because people just come to town and then leave immediately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've never seen the original Fright Night, so that's roast me.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I mean, I know. I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I just have never seen it.
In a career filled with highlights, I think it's Roddy McDowall's best performance, that movie.
Not Planet of the Apes?
No, I mean, I love him in that entire series, but somehow this particular role, like, he nails it so hard. Like, playing basically like a washed up, a former like vampire hunter actor, like in Hammer films, and now he actually has to sort of step up and fulfill that role, all the while like facing facing like bankruptcy and being kicked out of his house for non-payment and stuff. It's kind of heartbreaking in the middle of this movie that it's just sort of a romp with vampires in suburbia.
Huh. Yeah, I know I need to watch it. Just, it's just on that list. Eric and I always talk about the list of movies we need to watch. That's
so many.
Yeah, I know. It's getting longer every day.
Yeah.
It really is. But, we're getting back to Body Double, speaking of vampires, obviously, I think that for me, outside of the Frankie Goes to Hollywood scene, which is great, I also really enjoyed the climax of the film where he has like a out-of-body experience when he's being covered with dirt.
Okay. And that's maybe one of the reasons that I have sort of overlooked how poor the construction of the rest of the third act is, because he goes into that super weirdo thing where it's, like somehow in his mind, he's back at the first scene of the movie, but he's going to nail it this time, but he's not in the costume. He's in his street clothes. It's so fucking weird. If he had just gone with how weird he wanted this movie to be, it would be an absolute masterpiece that nobody could deny. Because when he like stretched out in those areas, it fits so well and it's so bizarre. Like I don't know. Like one wishes they would have let him have even more free reign.
Yeah, that scene is just so strange, but not in a bad way. It's in a way that I was just like completely unexpected, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a weird payoff to have this character have that sort of affliction to begin with, and then sort of to like have him overcome it at the end. Like you just, oh my God, if the third act had lived up to that again, I don't know. Could have been perfect. Really good. I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
If he hadn't been tackled into the water by that dog.
Well, yeah, like what the fuck?
I mean, again, the third act of this movie is just complete garbage. It's just so
You know what though? Now that we're talking about this other scene though, is it? I don't know. I think it's a failure.
I think they negate one another.
Right. Yeah, maybe so. So that then it's kind of like it's not garbage, it's just kind of, waste paper basket stuff.
Which again, it's unfortunate because the first two parts of this movie are great, but the third part is just, man.
Yeah.
It just kind of ends with it just kind of like whimpers. And then you've got the end of the movie with the credits rolling over it. The effective actual end of the film.
So weird. Yeah.
But I know Eric liked it because there was all those titties.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
who doesn't?
There you go.
With the get it, guys, with
again,
the body double.
What he does best, which is actually showing what a body double, and like, obviously he has said this himself, like when he shot Dress to Kill, he had to have a body double for Angie Dickinson because she wouldn't do the nude scene. And then like the experience of having to do that and what a pain in the ass it was what sort of planted the idea of doing this movie. And so I think he's just kind of recreating what that was like to have to shoot with the body double in the original movie. And our friend Dennis Franz, once again, in a De Palma film, but I think in this case he's actually playing De Palma.
Right, yeah, more or less. And then it gets even weirder at the end where all of a sudden Melanie Griffith's character is just okay with him.
Right.
After calling him a necrophiliac.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She's just all right with it. She just doesn't give a fuck. She's like, oh yeah, whatever, all right.
So is that a legit ending or what? Like they're like going out now? Like I didn't understand.
I don't know. I'm going to go with it and say that that's how things ended up, but could it possibly have gone that way? Like they rehired him to play the vampire? I don't know, man. It's very Hollywood. I think maybe he's just playing with the genre there.
Maybe he died in that hole.
Yeah, sure.
And he's just like imagining Jacob's Ladder stuff.
Right?
He's just dead.
It's all a dream.
Yeah.
On the way to heaven.
Maybe everything else was a dream and him in the scene at the very end is like reality. And all the other shit didn't happen.
But then how would Melanie Griffith have been there?
That's true.
Was she just there in the first scene and we didn't see her?
It's like a beautiful mind. She just exists in his mind.
Wait. Yeah. Or was he? No. Well, he could have been dating her the whole time.
Right.
We never saw her, and he was just frozen. And the beginning of the movie, like Eric said, is just him frozen, and then it finally resolves itself at the end of the movie.
Makes sense to me. We solved it.
I like it.
He's just a mediocre actor. He's not a good screenwriter, so that's why the third act is as bad as it is.
I don't. It's just so goofy. Just the ending is not De Palma's best. Let's put it that way.
No.
And again, you got to give De Palma credit. I mean, he writes and directs a lot of his films, right? I mean, like a fair amount of his films.
Definitely all of his thrillers.
Yeah, more than most directors are writing and getting to direct their own films. Most people that write a film are not getting to direct it as well. That's rather uncommon.
Yeah, like how many fucking movies did Spielberg write in his career? 2, Close Encounters and AI. Although, I gotta say, if you ever read his script for Poltergeist, it's almost like exactly. Like there are other credited screenwriters on there, but...
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue, heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
They didn't really add all that much to it.
But did he direct the film? Throw the ghost of Toby Hooper under the bus.
I know, man. It's so awful.
What a fucking shit show. Who fucking cares? Poltergeist is a good movie. I don't give a shit who directed it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, the guy's fucking dead. Like, leave him alone. Let him have his one quote-unquote mainstream film that mainstream audiences know him for.
Exactly. Like the one actual moneymaker in his entire career. Like, let him have that one.
Yeah. I mean, we all love him for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Ah, jeez. Well, starting with you, Eric, what would you give Body Double out of 5?
I'm going to give Body Double a solid 3. I liked it. It wasn't perfect, but I actually liked it. And it's definitely an intriguing, it's definitely a more modern take on a Hitchcock movie, but I think it has enough complete and utter weird De Palma stuff that makes it totally worth checking out.
What about you, Mike?
I was also going to give it a 3, but now reassessing the Frankie Goes to Hollywood scene, I'll give it like a 3.5, if that's possible.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is such utter lunacy to put in a mainstream American movie about the porn industry and voyeurism and the sort of Hollywood industry at the time. Like, it's 3.5. I'll give it 3.5. I want to give it more because it is eminently watchable, sort of beginning to end. It's just by the end you're going like, what?
Well, and that's the thing. The last third of the movie is only when it really becomes the porn industry, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of
when he gets into the true.
Yeah. So and that that's the part of the movie that has some really exciting stuff that also kind of doesn't work, unfortunately.
Right.
I'm going to give it a 3.5 for the Frankie Goes to Hollywood stuff, along with getting to hear Melanie Griffith say, "I don't do water sports," which I think may be the first time this was ever mentioned in a mainstream Hollywood film.
Yeah, that's funny. I was going to mention that as well. That whole speech is great. She's so casual about it. It's it's awesome to again, mainstream American movie around 1984. Like, who the fuck was talking about fist fucking and and I don't do water sports. I don't do any animal scenes. Okay.
Yeah, she did say fist fucking, which is, and the look on Craig Wasson's face is just great. He's just trying to keep it together, but he's having a hard time when she's saying fist fucking. What do you guys think the film has on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, Jesus. I don't know. When are most of the reviews from?
They're from the last decade.
70s, somewhere in the 70s, 75, I'll say.
Yeah. I'd probably go 70.
77, no critics consensus. It has 24 fresh reviews and 7 rotten. However, the audience score is lower. So, yeah, some reviewers say Body Double finds De Palma at the zenith of his cinematic virtuosity. Others say ugly and unedifying exploitation on cinema. Sleaze dominates the thin plot and absurd storyline. Classic De Palma, stylish and sexy. So, I guess some people didn't appreciate the kind of porno industry stuff in the film.
Yeah, at the time, a lot of people were, he's had the sort of misogynist label hung on him from the get-go. But and I think this is by design, him killing her with a drill. This really super phallic thing, pinning her to the floor, that didn't do him any favors.
And not only pinning her to the floor, but also having the character step on her neck, which you can clearly see him do, which is really rough.
It's really brutal. But you know what? Shouldn't it be?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I completely agree. So, well, let's take another break and we'll play a preview for the next Kulturecast.
Un, deux, trois, let's do it!
They've been waiting for a second chance. Waiting for their country to need them again. That time is meow.
What do you guys give me if I kill that bird? Farver, that's a bald eagle. Get a wing, Baldy! Yeah! Guys, what do I win?
A one-way ticket to hell.
It turns out the French-Canadian town Saint-Georges-du-Laurent is actually on American soil. You'll be phasing out a Canadian Mountie unit.
Best behavior, boys.
Not our idea of a good time either, fellas. Personally, I'd rather fuck a moose.
You would need a ladder to do that.
Wow.
Let's give a big Canadian welcome to the Vermont Highway Patrol.
Come on, guys. They've come up here to tell us how great it's going to be for all of us to become Americans.
Repeat after me. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Learn the words!
This is happening.
Est-ce que vous savez à quelle vitesse vous allez?
Do neither of you speak English?
I do. We would like to eat your papers.
Can you show me your party papers?
This time everything will be by the book. Everything.
What the fuck are you guys doing? Great, Tim Horton's ghost.
What can I get for you guys? Cold beer? Liter of cola?
What did you say?
Do you want a liter of cola?
Canada's pretty awesome.
Boop, boop. Don't do that.
Boop, 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 boop.
Should I shoot him?
Who? Father?
Frère Jacques Grey pour Paul Marquis de Sade-Tourette. Feather Duster, Croissant, Les Misérables, Fart Catcher, Luc Robitaille, D'Artagnan, Perrier, Friend Tarkin, Don Peanut Buster, Parfait. Eau de toilette. Eau de doudadin.
That's right. On the next Kulturecast, we are going to be talking about the film that is 17 years in the making, Super Troopers 2, a film that I know Mike is super excited for. This is actually the second time that I've said we're doing this podcast, but I swear it's the next one coming up. I swear.
I don't believe you.
Boys like Mexico.
But until then, what have you been up to over at OughtFiveFilms, Mr. Wallace?
I have not. I had a birthday yesterday. That's what I've been up to.
Yeah,
we had a birthday yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say, you and I both had birthdays yesterday. No, not a whole lot got done. But
Did not have a birthday.
Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing going on at OughtFiveFilms, is there anything new and exciting going on at everyone's favorite haunted museum, Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum?
Yes. I mean, we have new exhibits opening all the time here. We just opened a whole new room, which I won't get into the specifics of. But hey, if you like torture and rapists from the mid-1980s, this is right up your alley.
Do I ever?
Last podcast on the left, guys. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much all they talk about for like the first 100 episodes of that show. So
yeah, it's quite an experience to be in the room every day. Let me tell you.
What about you, Eric?
Just I have nothing. Just hanging out, doing stuff, disappearing. Yeah, I had a hell of a fucking week last week, and I'm glad to be back doing normal, cool shit and not stuff that sucks.
Cool shit is always better than stuff that sucks, is my experience.
Cool shit is great. Stuff that sucks is not fun.
Cool shit is cool, as they would say.
Yeah, and stuff that sucks really does suck.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, stuff that sucks.
And and always, you can follow me on Twitter at CultureStash. You can follow Eric on Twitter at Tychomagnetics. You can follow Mike on Twitter at Father Malone. Replace the O with a 0. And you can follow Culture Shocked on Twitter at Culture Shocked. Please head on over to the website where you can find out more about today's episode. You'll find links over to iTunes where you can rate and review the show, and to Patreon where you can kick a couple dollars our way. We got we got one thing up there right now. If you're a donor, if you want to check that out with some Ready Player One addendum stuff. And donors also get access to DVDs and the chance to guest co-host a Kulturecast if you donate enough. And Big thanks, as always, to Eric and Wavoka and to my good buddy Justin Scott for providing the intro-outro music, and to Mike for joining us to talk about Body Double.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for having me on again. I'm always willing to talk about any De Palma film. I'll talk about Wise Guys if you want to talk about it.
Oof, I don't even. That sounds bad.
I actually won't. It's so fucking horrible.
It's if it's not Goodfellas, honestly, I refuse to talk about Scarface on a podcast. It's not good. The end. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys like Scarface.
The world is yours, Chris.
But goddamn Pacino's accent in that movie is so distracting. It's really bad. But anyways, make sure to check out the next Kulturecast.
Posted with the crew. You know how we do, I'm just two-step, Drake in my right hand, phone in my other hand, getting to the money, oh man, two-step, posted with the crew. Yeah. You know how we do.
Hey, two-stepping, know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 1, 2. Benjamin, aka the Black T, you know what I'm saying? Catch me with my crew every day. Two-step. Phone in my other hand, like, hello? Oh, get into the money, man. Yeah.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, you know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.